Welcome to episode 86 of our Sperduti Fitness podcast. I'm your host, Brian. I'm here with my co-host, Beth. Before we jump into today's podcast, Coach Beth's going to take us through a few announcements.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast tonight. You know, as fitness professionals, we have seen and heard so many people asking and wondering where they should start their fitness journey. Well, that's where we come in with the Sperduti Fitness virtual training app. And this app is available on both Android and Apple platforms. After you download the free app and create your account, you can browse through all that we have to offer, from online, virtual, and in-person training, nutrition coaching, yoga, fitness classes. You can even set up a free virtual consultation with our trainers to help you put your plan in action. This is also where you will find our most popular package, the 12-week Transformation Challenge. This is the first program that brings exercise and nutrition education to a 12-week program, with our winner taking home a hefty cash prize. So head on over to the App Store or to our website, www.sperdutifitness.com, to learn more about our challenge program. Now, let's get into today's podcast.
Now, today's podcast, Coach Beth and I are just going to talk, we're going to call it Fitness Talk. It's pretty much going over some questions and concerns that we've had from clients that we're working with and trying to give them just a little bit more of an in-depth explanation of certain questions that they have. And one of them that they've been asking a lot about is net carbs. And, you know, the concept of net carbs is not a false theory, but rather a dietary approach that aims to provide a more accurate picture of a food's impact on blood sugar levels and overall nutrition. It's like net carbs are calculated by subtracting the grams of dietary fiber and a certain sugar alcohols from the total carbohydrate content of a food. The idea behind this is that fiber and some sugar alcohols have little to no impact on blood sugar, so they're not counted as usable carbohydrates. But that doesn't mean that they are calorie-free. However, it's essential to understand that the use of net carbs is not universally accepted for a few reasons, and it can be misleading if you don't have a better understanding of what it actually is. And we're just going to go over some of those key points to give people a better understanding of net carbs, how they're used, and, you know, our take on it.
What it all
right? And one is just a biological variation. I mean, people's bodies respond differently to carbohydrates. Some individuals may be more sensitive to the effects of carbohydrates on blood sugar, while others may have a higher tolerance.
And of course, your quality matters. Not all carbohydrates are equal. Whole, unprocessed foods with carbohydrates generally have a more favorable impact on blood sugar and overall health than your highly processed foods.
And then we have individual factors. You know, a person's overall diet, activity level, and metabolic rate play a significant role in whether they gain or lose weight. Focusing solely on net carbs without considering these other factors can be very misleading.
And this even leads to your portion control. So overeating foods with low net carbs can still lead to weight gain. And we know that it's essential to maintain an appropriate calorie balance for your specific health and weight management goals.
And also the health impact. You know, the emphasis on net carbs may lead some people to consume excessive amounts of foods that are low in fiber or contain artificial sweeteners, which may have a negative effect on someone's digestive health and overall nutrition.
And one of my favorites, you guys know, misleading marketing. Some packaged foods will advertise low net carbs, but they may contain some unhealthy ingredients or artificial additives. So it's essential to be reading your food labels and consider the overall nutritional profile of the product. The concept of net carbs can be a useful tool for those managing their carbohydrate intake, especially for people with specific dietary requirements, like those following a low carb or a ketogenic diet. However, it's important to approach it with caution and not to overlook the bigger picture of overall nutrition and lifestyle choices. Simply relying on net carbs without considering factors like portion sizes, food quality, individual differences, And of course, your overall caloric intake can potentially lead to weight gain and some health issues.
And it's one of those things when it comes to net carbs. And again, does it have its place? I have this thing where I feel like 95% of the conversations that people have about nutrition shouldn't even be like a general public conversation, because it just confuses people. You know what I mean?
100%.
And I think net carbs is one of those things. It sounds really good, but I don't know in the pyramid of weight loss if it's really making up the bigger portion of weight loss, especially when we talk about in our seminars just eating high quality foods and lower quality foods. Like if the majority of your diet is higher nutrient dense foods, that's where you want to be. But when you start subtracting fiber from overall carbs and not taking into consideration that even though you're subtracting them, they still have 4 calories per gram, you're going to run into some issues, especially when you're tracking overall calories. So, solely tracking net carbs can potentially lead to weight gain in some individuals when not done carefully. And that's what we're talking about. Or when other important dietary lifestyle factors are overlooked. So here's just some reasons on how that can happen. And one of those is the overconsumption of low quality foods. So focusing solely on net carbs can lead to overconsumption of low quality processed foods that are marked as low carb or even keto friendly. These products may contain unhealthy fats, artificial additives, empty calories, leading to weight gain despite how the low net carb count looks. And that means if you see something with, 40 grams of carbs and 8 grams of fiber or 20 grams of fiber, they're going to subtract. If it's 40 grams of carbs, 20 grams of fiber, they're going to subtract 20 grams of fiber. You can't do that. It's not how math works. But we understand why they're saying it. Like Coach Beth and I understand why they're saying it, but it's not the bigger picture of when it comes over a health and weight loss that they're making it out to be.
Absolutely. And that leads into that portion control or that portion neglect, we could even call it. Even foods with low net carbs can contribute to weight gain if consumed in excessive quantities. Many people might underestimate their portion sizes, assuming that they can eat unlimited amounts of low net carb foods, which in the end can result in a calorie surplus and even your weight gain.
Yeah, and also there's the lack of fiber. Some individuals might prioritize low net carbs foods at the expense of dietary fiber. Fiber is essential for satiation, digestive health, and so many other things. A diet low in fiber can lead to an increased hunger, overeating, and potentially lead to weight gain.
And to touch on that, when you're pulling those different fibers out, it can really lead into some insufficient nutrient variety. Relying solely on net carbs may lead to limited variety of foods in one's diet, which can result in nutritional deficiencies. This can impact your overall health and well-being and may contribute to weight gain over time. This is something that I have a lot of my clients look into, is making sure that they're looking at their diet and what they're bringing in as, am I giving myself the nutrients I need? It's even one of the first things we look at before we're ready to start cutting calories or pulling things out. Are you getting nutrients? Because that's what your body needs.
Absolutely. And just to talk about that, to piggyback off that, ignoring individual factors, everybody's body is different. And some people may not respond well to a very low carb or high net carb diet. Metabolic rate, activity level, and other personal factors should be considered. Ignoring these factors and following a one-size-fits-all approach to net carbs may lead to weight gain in certain individuals. So while tracking net carbs can be a valuable strategy for some individuals, it's essential to do so in a balanced and mindful way. Weight management is a complex process influenced by a variety of factors, and focusing exclusively on net carbs without considering overall food quality, portion control, individual needs, and overall caloric intake can lead to weight gain. A well-rounded and personalized approach to nutrition is generally more effective for achieving and maintaining a healthy weight than just like a one-size-fits-all gimmick approach.
Well, especially if people are seeing it on social media and they're seeing, an influencer or someone that has benefited from doing this, and without really having much education behind it, decide to take this, path and, I'm going to try this. Well, this doesn't work. Talk to a professional. Reach out. and have somebody help you with that. Uh, This leads into the relationship between your food, your blood sugar, and weight gain. It's complex and it's influenced by several different factors. It's essential to understand how different foods can affect your blood sugar and in turn, how this relates to weight gain. So here are some things to consider. Your blood sugar responses, right? There are high glycemic foods. These are foods with a high glycemic index. They can cause a rapid spike in your blood sugar levels. And these foods typically include sugary snacks or white bread, processed cereals. Consistently consuming high GI foods may lead to insulin resistance over time, potentially contributing to weight gain.
And then you also have your low glycemic foods. So they're considered low GI foods, such as whole grains, legumes, vegetables, are digested more slowly, leading to a more gradual increase in blood sugar. And this can help regulate hunger and energy levels, making it easier to manage calorie intake.
And what is the connection between this insulin and weight gain? High blood sugar levels trigger the release of insulin. This is a hormone that helps transport your glucose into your cells for energy. Over time, chronically elevated insulin levels can promote fat storage, potentially leading to weight gain.
Yep. And then we can also talk about calorie balance. So here we go. Regardless of blood sugar response, the fundamental principle of weight gain or loss is caloric balance. Consuming more calories than you burn will lead to weight gain, while a calorie deficit results in weight loss. Even low GI foods can contribute to weight gain if consumed in excessive amounts.
And I do have to say, to piggyback off of the calorie balance with, some metabolic adaptations. Some people have been in caloric reduction for so long that they've had a metabolic adaptation and they have to do a little bit of a reverse and let yourself eat a few more calories before you can. I want to say, people, you got to work with a professional with this one.
Yeah.
So, if you are someone that is working on your own health journey right now and you are eating a severely low amount of calories, it's definitely worth it to reach out to a professional to talk about how to increase those calories to a more healthy level so you're getting your nutrients in. Because your food quality is important. The quality of the food you consume matters. Highly processed, sugary, overly fatty foods can lead to weight gain due to their high caloric content, even if they have a low glycemic index. Your nutrient-dense whole foods, on the other hand, can help manage blood sugar and support healthy weight management.
And then we also get into portion control. Overeating any type of food, low GI, high GI, can lead to weight gain. It's crucial to practice portion control, mindfulness when eating, as well as caloric consumption, meaning manage your calories, meaning tracking what you're putting in your mouth when it comes to weight loss or weight gain. That's what's going to trump everything, is going to be caloric monitoring.
100%. Individual variability also comes into play because people have different responses to the same foods. What affects blood sugar or weight in one person may not have the same impact on another. Your genetics, your metabolic rate, and some other individual factors play a significant role in this variability. The relationship between food, blood sugar, and weight gain is multifaceted. While the glycemic index of food can provide insight into their impact on blood sugar, it's important to consider the bigger picture, including overall food quality, calorie balance, and individual variation. A balanced diet that emphasizes whole, nutrient-dense foods, portion control through tracking, and an awareness of individual factors is crucial for both managing your blood sugar levels and achieving and maintaining a healthy weight.
And that's so true. I mean, and that's what we're trying to get through as far as the net carbs. Does it play a factor? Yes. Does it play as big of a factor as marketing companies make it out to? No. And that's why it's, again, like Coach Beth says, work with a professional. Overall nutrition education will trump all and will give you a better understanding. Take our Intro to Flexible Dieting program that we run, and we will explain everything in that. Just give you a better understanding of overall nutrition awareness is what we really should call it. And I mean, and just So we wanted to explain a bit of that to you when it comes to net carbs. And then we're just going to go over a few more of the fitness myths that, again, Coach Beth and I have been talking to clients and people, just random conversations at Wegmans with people about, about fitness and things like that. So here are like our top, like 5 questions we've been asked as far as like weight loss, weight gain, and things like that. So the first thing is spot reduction. There's no such thing as spot reduction. The idea that you can
do this exercise to fix this.
I know.
No.
I know.
No.
I know. I know I'm going off on a tangent, but we're going to because it's our podcast. I don't care. Have you seen the advertisements for the infinity hoop?
Yes.
First of all, whoever marketed that is great because they must put a lot of money behind it because it's everywhere. And I have so many questions when I see it because I'm like, one, you mean to tell me all you did was rock back and forth? And which, hey, more power to you. But I want to ask,
movement.
You moved.
It'll increase your knee.
I know, but I'm like, also there has to be a nutrition program that goes along with that. There's no way. And again, that's just, I know Coach Beth and I both have a big gripe with just marketing, with the lack of education. It's a way to rope people in. I totally get it. But it drives me nuts. But a lot of these programs too will promote spot reduction. And again, there's no idea you can lose fat from a specific area by targeting a certain exercise. It's a myth. Fat loss occurs systematically, not locally. You can't choose where your body's going to burn fat. It's a combination of overall caloric deficit, and exercise is key to losing fat from all over your body.
Now, do we wish that spot reduction worked? Absolutely. That would be amazing, but it doesn't. So follow those tips. This one's one of my favorites, that cardio is the best way to lose weight. Let's debunk that. While cardio exercises like running, cycling can help burn calories, weight loss isn't solely about cardio. Strength training is essential for preserving and building muscle, which increases your resting metabolic rate. So a balanced mix of both cardio for your cardiovascular health, because cardiovascular is really where it comes together, and strength training is more effective for long-term weight loss. And that's something that I really like to point out to people, because there'll be days where I'll be like, oh, I'm going to do my cardio day. Oh, you do cardio? Well, yeah, I'd like to work on my heart health. I don't go because I'm trying to burn calories. I'm going because I'm going to do some work specifically for strengthening my heart. That's what I use my cardio for. My strength training is where I'm trying to build, that little old dump truck. It's only like a little Ford Ranger right about now. So we're working on that Duramax diesel.
Right. Another myth we love is that eating after 8 p.m. causes weight gain. It's not 8 p.m., it's 8:15. So people have been doing it wrong. No, it's a total myth. The time you eat doesn't determine weight gain. What matters is your daily caloric intake. If you consume more calories than your body needs, you'll gain weight, regardless of what time you eat. Focus on food quality, quantity of your food, rather than a time. So some people say, well, I only eat twice a day. Yeah, but if you're eating 3,000 calories twice a day, you're going to, for the day, you're going to lose weight. It's not the point of when you eat, it's overall how much you're eating. A lot of people, when they say, I stopped eating past 7, I lost weight. Well, it's because you weren't eating chips that night to have a snack when you were watching TV, which were probably another 500 calories.
Or more.
You get what I'm saying? So it's not so much of the time you eat. And again, I don't mean to pick on this strategy, because I will use this with clients, is when people talk about IF as well, like intermittent fasting. Okay. One,
I was going to bring it up.
Yeah, there's no magic number to do this, because I think a lot of the times what we do is we just have sometimes when I wake up in the morning at 5, I don't want to eat right away because it's just going to give me an upset stomach. So I might wait a little while. It's not intermittent fasting. I'm just waiting to eat a little while. Or if when my calories were lower, I would wait to eat a little while. It just was personal preference. That's all that really is. It wasn't the IF that was doing it. It was pushing back when I started eating my calories, but still staying within a caloric number to help me lose weight. That was helping me lose weight.
And I think that's what people don't understand, is that intermittent fasting is a tool for caloric reduction. It's a tool. So if you are someone that enjoys missing a part of your day of eating, and that's something that you can do long term, and it's something that you can do and you'd be like, oh, this is so easy for me, then it might be okay for you. But for others, it can lead to complete stress, and anxiety and that restrictive mindset. So everyone is different. Every style is different. Yes, it is a tool. But if you are someone that is, because I have a lot of clients that are probably watching right now, and a lot of them are in a reverse. So they're trying to increase calories and they're asking about intermittent fasting. And I said, not now, not today, partner. Maybe someday if you want to attempt it, but you're reversing. So intermittent fasting is not in the cards for you right now. And you know what, even to talk about that after 8 p.m., my biggest meal, my most calorically dense meal is after 8 o'clock every day. And I'm not consistently gaining weight. I'm not, it is. So it's definitely this myth. But what I do want to say is that if you are someone that eats later at night, the reason why do you see that number move the next day on the scale, right? There's that mind connection with the scale there, thinking I ate at night, now I gained body fat overnight. You're not gaining 2 pounds of body fat overnight. So clear that up right there. It's probably because the weight of that meal that you ate has not been fully digested through your system. End of story.
Hope you'll be fine.
That's it.
You'll be fine.
That's it. So glad that we brought that one out, because I do see that one a lot with not being able to eat after a certain time. And this next myth, carbs make you fat. Carbohydrates are an essential part of a balanced diet. It's excessive calorie consumption that leads to weight gain, not the macronutrient itself. Carbs provide energy and can help control your appetite. Using complex carbs like whole grains, fruits, and veggies for better nutrition. Brian, you want to talk a little bit about carbohydrates?
I just say I'm just going to repeat what you said, which I think is the line of the night. It's excessive caloric consumption that leads to weight gain, not the macronutrient itself. And those that are confused, the macronutrient we're talking about is carbohydrates. I would put that on a shirt and sell it if I could.
Yes.
We should just put that in a quote and put Sperduti Fitness and on the back in quotes. It's excessive caloric consumption that leads to weight gain, not the macronutrient itself.
Huh.
And it says it all. It says it all. And that's the one thing we have to, again, people, when you have companies marketing weight loss supplements, they have to find a boogeyman, because they don't want to educate you. If they educate you, you won't lean on their supplement. You will just track your calories and lose weight. But when they can demonize and scare you, then they can start to sell you products that you really honestly don't need. So when they say like carbs make you fat, don't eat carbs. And then they go into eat stuff that has a low carb count. And then they go into, and this only has 7 net carbs. It's like, well, wait a minute. Wait, what? You know what I mean? And it's like
hook, line, and sinker right
there.
And
that's why we're so big on like educating people when it comes to like overall nutrition, to understand like, no, it's the overall calories, not the macronutrient itself. I think that's the best line. Like, if anybody's listening to anything, take that line in.
100%. And I think what people kind of get caught up in is when they do try low carb diets, or they try a keto diet, and they're cutting out that whole macronutrient group to very small amounts. One of the first things that you're going to notice is a very rapid weight loss. Mm-hmm. What you're losing is water weight. Mm-hmm. That is what you are losing, because listen to the word carbohydrate. There's a water molecule in carbohydrates. So when you're eating carbohydrates, you're going to hold a little bit of extra water. Mm-hmm. So learning how to incorporate your carbohydrates into your lifestyle is much more beneficial than that yo-yo dieting of low carb, cutting out carbs. And then life sucks because you're not eating carbs. You can't have anything fun and good and tasty. You eat carbs again, weight gain. No, you put the water back into your body from the carbohydrate. Mm-hmm. You need your carbs, people.
And that's the thing too. And I'm going to read this last one here is, you can lose weight quickly and sustainably with fad diets. And that's just completely false. But you're going to be sold this weight loss false approach. Fad diets that promise rapid weight loss often lead to short-term results and can be harmful. Sustainable weight loss requires gradual, long-term approach. And when we say long-term, we're not talking 8 weeks, 12 weeks. We may be talking a year, 2 years. You know, it took you, and it's just the harsh reality of it. It took you so long to get in the position that you're currently in. In order to take a safe, sustainable manner, it's going to take some time to get you where you want to be and maintain that. So focus on creating healthy habits, balanced diet, and make lifestyle changes that you can maintain over time. And that's the big thing, is maintaining over time. If you say, I'm never going to eat carbohydrates, and again, I'm giving up on them. I don't eat carbs. Okay. For the rest of your life, you're not gonna? Yeah. And then you're like, for the rest of your life, you're not going to eat carbohydrate. You're going to drive yourself
everywhere.
crazy. Yeah, they're everywhere. Learn how to maintain your caloric intake and manage what you're consuming and enjoy. We shouldn't be, weight loss doesn't have to be this, I'm going to trail through the mud and push through. No, you should be able to live a healthy, delicious life while you're losing weight and maintaining that weight loss long term.
And I feel like that's what people think is what's supposed to happen when you're in, quote, a dieting phase. Oh, yeah. Carol's on.
Hey, Carol.
That's Josh's mom.
Oh, hey, Josh's mom.
Josh, our sponsored athlete. His mom's on watching, so I love that. So what's up, Carol?
But like you were saying,
it's mind-blowing that these diets can pop up and these things, this is what people want to go to. And instead of getting that education behind it, you just have to get the education. It'll be so much easier than you think. It's not about restriction to the point of hating life. And most people are saying, oh, you know, I'm going to start my diet on Monday. Why? Just start learning about your food. Start learning about your food today. Doesn't mean you have to give up everything today. And that's the approach we love to take with our clients, is that one step at a time. Let's gather some data. Let's see what your habits are. What foods do you love? How can we help you incorporate those into your lifestyle? That's one of my most fun parts about flexible nutrition.
Absolutely. And I think too, when you listen to some people, they emphasize the super restrictive road they took to get the weight off rather than the weight loss itself. It's like, well, I lost 20 pounds. Oh, so did I. Well, I didn't eat any carbs past 8, and I totally ate like this, and I did 17 hours of cardio. And it's like, okay, that's great. Did you want a trophy for the depth you went to lose? I'm like, I ate pizza and I lost weight. They're like, I'm like, we lost the same amount. What do you me for? Like we exactly. I just didn't, like, it's almost like they put they're proud of the restricted measures they used to get there rather than it can be easy. Like, weight loss doesn't have to be as hard as people make it out to be, you know? And like we always say, it can be very delicious as well.
And I love when I'd get text messages from my clients and they're like, so-and-so is eating 1 strawberry for breakfast. Yeah. I'm eating yogurt, eggs, toast,
absolutely,
some steamed veggies all in there. And I'm like, yeah, you're eating to fuel your body. Like, and it's, you know, and they're like, I can't believe how much I can eat in comparison to so-and-so that's doing this other fad diet that was out on the market. And I'm like, yeah, and guess what? You are going to take these strategies on for the rest of your life. And you're not going to be hurting your metabolism. You're improving it. You're working on it. You're giving your body all the nutrients it needs. And that should be the bigger picture.
Yeah. And it's tough with social media. I mean, it really is, because they could, I always say, it's putting lipstick on a pig, man. They can take a nonsense approach that is really extreme and make it look beautiful. And you're like, I gotta do that. I gotta get that hoop, because that's how I'm going to lose weight.
Well, and it has that fear complex in with it too. Like, they love to just wrap in the food, the poison that we're eating. And that's one really aggravates me. And sometimes I have to put the phone away and step back and not let it release. But you know, it's so bothersome. But I love to see a lot of us in this industry that are trying to bring out the truths and the honesty behind how influencers are creating these eating disorders. Honestly, when it comes to, if you're fearing foods, you are definitely starting to create an eating disorder.
Yeah, and that's why Coach Beth and I do these podcasts, is really just trying to educate the general public and give them a better idea and a better explanation of weight loss and weight loss sustainability to hopefully help them avoid some of the hurdles and pitfalls that come along with it. Getting stuck in some of the bad information that's out there. So, our job is try to help you avoid the bad information, take sensible approaches that'll help you not only again lose weight, but keep it off long term.
And you guys, if you have other things that you want us to debunk for you, things that you're hearing in the fitness community, send us a DM, send us an email, myself, Beth at SperdutiFitness.com or Brian at SperdutiFitness.com. We would love to debunk those things for you. If you want to hear our opinion on something that you are seeing on social media, we'd love to give you guys our feedback on it.
Absolutely. So hopefully this podcast helped you guys out. And again, if you have any questions, just let us know and we will catch you guys next podcast.
Yeah.